guys, so y'all worked on this in class. You started on chapter 7 and y'all looked closely at what you learned before, and this is some new stuff that we're trying to get y'all to learn here pretty quickly before a test coming up, okay, to help prepare you. So we're going to start with evaluating expressions. A lot of y'all have told me you were struggling with this, so we're going to talk about it. So first we're just going to start small. When you're evaluating expressions, you're going to have an equation, and it's going to have a rule above the equation. This rule happens to be that a equals 7. For these problems, a equals 7, but if you have it on a test or anything, it's always going to tell you what a equals, or b, or c, or x, or y. It's going to give you what it equals, okay? So don't ever be worried. This time our rule says a equals 7. So number 1 says 6 plus a, and we have to find the answer. Well, we know a equals 7. So we're going to do 6 plus 7 equals, and then we'll find our answer. All right, so 7 plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. The answer is 13. So that would be your final answer. This one has a minus 4, all right? We know a is 7, so 7 minus 4 equals, so now what's 7 minus 4? If you have 7 and you take away 4, you get 3. Now we have 4 times a. You know it's times because they're sitting right next to each other, so that means multiplication. So then you have to figure out what 4 times 7 is. 4 times 7 equals 28. So these are your answers, and we knew that because our key or our rule told us that a equals 7. All right? These are small ones. Now they only get bigger from here. In your book, you had some big ones, okay? So I'm going to rewrite that for you. The next ones we're going to work on. It says evaluate 7x plus 3y when, here's your rule, x equals 2 and y equals 4. All right? So we're now going to plug this in. So we have to fill in our missing spots. We have to fill in what x equals and what y equals. So we're going to have 7 times 2. I knew that was a 2 because here's my x. I have to figure out what x equals. X equals 2, so I plug that in, okay? 7 times 2 plus 3 times, figure out what my y equals. My y is here. Y equals 4, so I'm going to plug my 4 in right here. So it's 3 times 4. This is my problem I now have set up. 7 times 2 equals 14 plus 3 times 4. 3 times 4 equals 12. Now you have your addition problem. You're going to just add. So you know your 4 plus your 2 equals 6, and your 1 plus 1 equals 2. 26 is your answer. All right? Now there's another one. This one is even bigger, the next example they gave you. It says 5x squared minus 2y plus 1 plus 9 when x equals 2 and y equals 1. So we're going to figure this out on our paper now. I have it all written out. So I'm going to plug it in. So I have my 5, I have my x squared. So my x is 2, and I see that right here. So I'm going to do times 2, and this is squared, all right, minus 2, my y is in parentheses, y equals 1, plus 1, plus 9. Now I have this big equation right here. To figure out what I'm going to do first, I need to think about, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, okay? So parentheses are first. So I'm going to have my 5 times 2 squared minus 2, and then I have to do what's in the parentheses. What's 1 plus 1? That's 2 plus 9. All right, so now my parentheses are gone. These parentheses just mean multiplication, so that's different. But these ones were showing addition inside of it, so we had to finish that. So I got my p. Exponents is next. So now I have to deal with my exponent right here. 2 to the second power. 2 times 2 is 4. All right, so 2 squared is 4. Minus 2 times 2 plus 9. All right, so now exponents is done. Next, we are going to have multiplication. So we have to write out our multiplication. 5 times 4, that comes out to be 20, minus 2 times 2, which equals 4, plus 9. All right, now my multiplication's done. There's no division. Now addition. All right, so I'm going to add. So 20 minus, so we have our 4 plus 9. So 4 plus 9, that is going to give me 13. So now I have 20 minus 13. So hold on, guys, 1 second. So on this one, your book's telling you to, when you have your 4 plus your 9 here, it wants you to do 20 minus 4 and then add your 9. So 20 minus 4 is going to give you 16, plus your 9 is going to end up being 25. Okay? So then that's going to be your final answer. Okay? Next, let's move on to evaluating some different types of expressions in your book. Let's do, the rules for this is A equals 1/2, B equals 7. Okay? So number 1 says 6 times A times B. So we're going to write this out down on our paper. So if I had to write this out, I'd do 6 times 1/2 times 7. Okay? So 6 times 1/2, think of that as, an easier way to think of that is thinking 6 times 5/10. That's going to give you 3. Now you have to do 3 times 7, which equals 21. The next problem in our book, number 2. Number 2 says 16a minus b. So 16a minus b is going to be 16 times 1/2 minus 7, because we plugged it in, okay? Because we know that a equaled 1/2 and b equaled 7. 16 times 1/2 would be 16 times 5/10, which would literally just half our 16, which would give us 8, okay? Minus 7, 8 minus 7, super easy, so we knew that answer was 1. Let's look at 3. 3 is a bit longer. 3 says 3b minus 2a minus 9. So I have that over here. So 3b, plugging that in, is going to end up showing us 3 times 7 minus 2 times 1/2 minus 9. All right? So 3 times 7 is 21, minus 2 times 1/2, that's just going to be 1, minus 9. 21 minus 1 is 20. 20 minus 9, 20 minus 9 is going to give us 11. So your final answer for that is going to be 11. Now there gets to be some harder things, okay? Write the phrase as an expression. So here's some examples it gives us. The sum of twice a number, n and 5. So 2n plus 5 would be your answer. 12 less than 4 times a number y. So it'd be 4y minus 12. So we are going to do number 5. Number 5 says 6 more than 3 times a number w. So 6 more then 3 times a number W. So that means that we're going to have 6 more. So we know we're adding 6. So I'm going to go ahead and write my plus 6. And then it says 3 times a number W. So that means I'm going to have 3W in front of it. Okay? Number 6 reads, two less than a number T. 2 less than a number T. All right, so if I have 2 less, that means I'm going to minus 2, then a number T. So I'm just going to have T minus 2 then this time. Number 7 says 5 more than 6 divided by a number R. So 5 more than 6 divided by a number R. So I know 5 more, so I'm going to do my plus 5. 5 more than 6 divided by a number R. Okay? So if I'm doing 6 divided by it, how do you think we're going to write that if it's 6 divided by it? This is going to be 6 divided by R plus 5. Now our next one. Number 8 says the product of a number x and 5. The product of a number x and 5. Product means multiplication. So multiplication of the number x and 5. So that would just be 5x. So it's just 5 times x. 9 says 4 less than 3 times a number b. So 4 less, so we know minus 4, then 3 times a number b. So it'll just be 3b minus 4 is the answer to that one. You'll see that, guys? You want to go ahead and pause the video here and take notes. This is a good time to just pause the video and take the rest of these notes right here if you don't have them. All right, now be on the lookout. I am going to give more for Chapter 7 as we continue along, but right now this is what we have, okay? So there's going to be some extra problems in the description, and if you'd like to do those and turn them in to me, I'll definitely take a look and see how you did and give you some feedback, okay? Thanks, guys. I'll see you tomorrow.